Live. I'm live. There we go. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Turn this down, so hold on. Good morning. I'm just getting set up this morning. I have a lot to do on the back end of the work stuff, so I do apologize. Let me angle that so you can see my face. Actually, I'm going to have Stan. Stan, do you mind posting it all over the sub and more? Please. Because I'm running late this morning. It wouldn't be a Sass if I wasn't running at least 3 minutes late. Good morning. How is everyone this morning? I'm giving you guys just a little bit of a different angle this morning, not just because, you know, this is my best side, but because I need to be able to move the camera in a little bit to be able to show you actually the proper angle when I'm doing making bows today. So it's all about the angle. And so today you're going to be just a little bit different of a location. And we have some things that we're going to end up talking about and whatnot. So I have to give a shout out. My baby sister is watching. This is the first time she gets to watch her big sister live. So hi, Amanda. Which is kind of nerve-wracking, I have to tell you. All right, so let's get this party started, shall we? This is the Sass for the 27th of January, and it's Sunday, and which means it is going to be a jam-packed day for today. I've got lots and lots of things to talk to you about and show you. And before we get started, I'm going to get my heat press up and running because I'm going to actually piece together a bow just so that you guys get the idea of piecing, especially on a smaller press. I'm not loading up the big press today just because I use that for my larger projects and projects that I just, because he's a beast. He takes forever to load up. Yay, everybody. How many of y'all skipped church this morning? I just need to ask that question. I know Becky did. Becky skipped church this morning, and I'm telling on her. I'm always watching. All right, so everybody go grab your cup of coffee, get your notepad. I'm going to finish setting up some things. I do want to talk to you guys about some things too that I've been kind of watching in our group before we actually get started with physical things this morning. I'm going to move my little tablet so I can at least watch you guys and see what questions you have and whatnot. We have got a jam-packed absolute Sunday. We're going to be making those elusive cheer bows. These cheer bows right here, right? We're also going to be talking about some new keychain holders from Stan. I want to show you the beach towels. Oh my God, I love these beach towels. And so much more. We're going to talk about theming things out, as we always do, and things like thinking outside the box. So we have a jam-packed Sunday. I hope your notebook's ready. I hope you got a full cup of coffee. Give me about 2 seconds. Let me load them things up. Let me go get some stuff off the printer, and I'll be right back. I should really consider elevator music. Which means you're able to watch me live. My husband gets to watch me live, although he gets to hear me every Sunday. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Yes, please, please, please share my lives, would you please? Sorry, the camera's over there and I'm looking at this because I'm looking at me. Anywho, so I'm going to move my camera around actually just so that's kind of under here, my iPad, so that I'm basically looking at my camera because I noticed last week I spent a lot of time looking here instead of at you. New camera angles, tripod, new shop, issues. Okay. All right, all right, all right, all right. Get a little country going on in the background, right? I need some sort of like get up and go music. I've been up way entirely too long, and I slept way entirely not enough. All right. Ooh, from Colorado. Chicago. Please give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're here. You know what? I like hearts because, you know, I'm hearts and sparkles. So give me hearts this morning. I would love that. Make sure you comment, because the more that you like my sasses and the more that you comment in my feeds, the more that, honestly, it gets noticed. And that's just me being cheesy. Just so you know. Let's put it out there. Let's make it viral. Let's make Sublimation and More, which is the largest group on the planet. Our little sublimation group is pushing 40,000 strong, and we are just an amazing group of just college goers. That's what I call us. As you guys know, I feel like this is part of our university, and this is where we go to school to learn. For, you know, for the last 3 years, I have been learning so much from Sub and More, and now I get to teach it all to you. We'll decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing later, but we'll get back to it. So I'm going to throw my hair up here because my long hair is getting quite in the way. As you know, I always wear a ponytail. So let's get you, I don't see enough hearts. Morning, Mama! My mama's watching. Which means my dad's watching, and my grandmother, and my grandfather. Means I better watch my P's and my Q's. All right, so let's get to it this morning, all right? So here's what I want to share with you. I troll our group, I ain't gonna lie. I would like to say that I happily just participate in just reading along with what you guys are talking about and what is going on and what we're concerned with as Sub and More. So here's the thing. One of the most major things that we have to talk about, and I'm completely guilty of it, and I will put that out there, but it's a new year and it's a new situation, and we've always got to pick what we're going to do in order to drive your business forward. And we're going to talk about copyright this morning. It is such a touchy subject, and I gotta be honest, I for one have been round and round with Todd over a certain issue, and round and round and round. And it's not because I'm mad at him, it's not because I don't like him or don't like what he's saying, it's just that I'm trying to process everything in my brain of what he's trying to teach me. And there are times my brain just doesn't want to do it, and the stubbornness in me kicks in. So let's talk about copyright. There's a couple different things in the whole copyright realm, and I'm seeing it all over our news feed. If you're printing Disney, any sports team, anything of that nature that you physically did not make, it's copyrighted. I know that sounds crazy, and I'm guilty. I love me some good Disney stuff. And the thing is, in the embroidery world, and I can totally see where this is an issue, especially for people that are new to this business. We think, because we bought it off of Etsy, or we bought it off of a website, especially in my embroidery, I have a ton of Disney embroidery files. I feel as if I was legit in buying these and that they would be legit. The problem is they're not. No one is. Okay? If you're making anything military, and this is where my argument was, I made something that was military. But because I put something like a flag and a soldier, and I did the name Army in the colors, it literally embarks on the copyright infringement. Because why? It immediately makes you associate with that particular brand. You can go get the crafter's license, make sure you get it if that's what you want to do. Now that's a huge thing for our designers. Do not go out and copy somebody else's work. Two prime examples I can give you for copyright. I have some mock-ups that I physically made myself, okay, for my designs. And I literally have a few people who have made mock-ups look almost identical to mine, and it infuriates me. But it also is like a compliment, because it's like, hey, you know, they liked it enough, they wanted to use it, but I want you to have your own thought. So moving in 2019, have your own thought. Try to weed out all the copyright stuff that you have in your shop. Try to be honest, have morals and values. And honestly, if you decide that you don't care, you just don't care, then you know what, that's on you. But I know that when we relaunched our group, we made it that if you're selling any copyrights in your graphics designs, we aren't going to approve you. And it's only because we want to be cohesive. We want to be the same across the board. So this sassy woman went through, and I went through my business page, got rid of all of my old embroidery designs. Why? Because I made mistakes. We're human. So keep that part in mind, that you are just a human. But go back what you're supposed to do and keep it there. Another one, templates. Templates are a huge thing too. As we know, Amy and Stan, when they buy new products, i.e. this was the product, Amy literally sits for sometimes hours tweaking to get these templates correct. She makes her own. She's not buying them from somebody, because the people that she gets these from don't have templates. So she's got to make her own. So if you're buying these items from Amy, don't share them with someone else. Don't go and create your own. She gave you the template. And yes, she's being very sweet by giving you the template. But don't go and pawn it off of your own and then go start selling these too on the side. That's just kind of rude in my world. Okay, and that's just being the sass right there. Be respectful, have morals and values, and just keep right on going. There's my disclaimer. Go back and look at your own stuff. Decide what you want to do, and if that's what you're going to do. There's the sass right there. There's my Sunday morning praise or preach for you before we get started, because it is a huge issue. And if you see somebody, I'm not saying call them out on it, but just know that they're not doing it right. Okay, so if you're buying Disney stuff off of Etsy, I can tell you right now, it's not legal. And if you're buying anything that has to do with sports stuff, it's not legal. You can't use the Patriots logo, you can't use the Rams logo, can't use the Yankees logo. It's not legal. And none of us that I'm fully well aware of make over $100 grand a year that allows us to be able to buy those licenses. It just is not realistic. That's my food for thought on this Sassy Sunday. See, that's what I do. I don't think you can sell them, Mary Frances. Mary Frances said, well, what about the ones that come with the Brother machine? I don't think you can sell them. I think you can use them for personal use, but I don't think that you could actually go out and sell them, because the Brother machines, if it's the one I'm thinking of, is made for personal use. You would have to do some asking. I would ask Brother if they've got the licensing for that, just to cover your butt. That's all you're doing. Cover your butt, because you don't want somebody coming after you. And I'm sorry, does this body look like it's made for orange? No. And I do not look good in stripes. So orange is not in my color wheel, and I don't look good in stripes. Although I think I have stripes on. Whatever. Correct. See, thank you, Pamela. See? So that's where you just want to make sure you have it. And if you're using school logos, like the local high school, I use their logo all the time, or I make new ones, I always make sure that I get permission and get it in writing. Especially because if you're using any of the local sports teams, the travel teams, any of those, just get it in writing. Cover your butt. That's all I'm saying. Just cover your butt. I know everybody's going to do their own thing, and that's awesome. Yay for you. Go out and kill it. But come on, let's be real. All right? All right. Are we ready? Oh, celebrity names too. I mean, anything that... It's tough. It's such a hard thing to decide. So we're going to, and I'm going to have the admins help me, post some links of some trusted places to get that kind of stuff from, or to check to see if something is copyrighted or trademarked or anything of that nature. I want trusted sites, so I'm gonna, that's my adventure this week, is to throw up some trusted sites that you can go and check for names, files, how it's used. Just remember, if you're using something, if I just put mouse ears on something, it immediately makes you think of Mickey Mouse. That's copyright infringement. Believe it or not. Anything that makes you think of that item, the eyes from Jack Skeleton, and if you make it look, it's copyright infringement. I completely disagree with it. I'm going to tell you that right now. I literally will go round and round with you on it, because it's like, what? I want it. And then I pout. And we all know I don't look pretty pouting. I'm going to do a whole thread on it. I'm going to have Todd help me with that, because Todd's a stickler on it. I'm not going to lie. Todd is the best stickler on it. And I've gone round and round with him on it. Because my brain just doesn't want to, well, I changed it a little. I made it my own. It doesn't matter. that's where it becomes very frustrating. So there's me being very transparent with all of you guys. I could have just hid this all away and told you that I'd never screwed up a day in my life, but that would be wrong, because you know what? We're in this together. So let's do it together. Let's fix it. Let's make a stance as Sublimation and More to just be honest and be real, and to, you know, make sure that we're in 2019 doing our own thing, making our own stuff, and not printing out stuff that's not ours. Like I said, that's my food for thought. All right, so let's get started. There's my disclaimer for the morning. So earlier in this week, one of the major questions was, when I make a mock-up, does it look like my mock-up, my prints, when I actually printed them? So I said to Stan, I go, well, I'll just print some stuff. So here is, I did a clipboard. I love this clipboard. I just have to tell you that right now. So this is a clipboard, although it doesn't have the hardware on it. It kind of goes up here. This looks just like my mock-up. And that's some food for thought to all the designers, or even yourself. If you're going to sell your digital designs, go ahead and press one of your items. Because I can tell you right now, once pressed, I noticed some flaws in this design I had to go back and fix. And I fixed them. But you want to press them. And you know what? You're like, oh, well, what do you do with them when you're done? I give them away on my fan page, or I gave them away in on my personal page. Hey, who wants to be a guinea pig? I need to print some stuff off. Who wants in? And let me tell you, my fan base, they know when I am saying I need a guinea pig, they jump like on that like white on rice. Why? One, they're getting free merch. Two, I'm putting my name all over the damn thing so that people know where they can get it. And it allows me to test, because testing is key. Oh, goodness. Oh, I wanted to explain these too. These are the sticky note holders. So for these, you can lay them on your desk. You can put some sort of hanger on the back. You can get like the 3M type of hangers for these. What you're going to want to do is put double-sided tape so that this sticks. You're going to want that backing that usually comes on the back of the sticky notes so that it sticks, and then you can have it here. But I put the paper here. You can even put a magnetic strip. I mean, the possibilities are endless, but it only comes just like this. So you really have to think outside the box of how you want to put this on here instead of it just laying on your desk. All right. So I have been posting the wedding stuff. Well, I love this design so much that I had to make it into a towel. My daughter's name. So as everybody knows, we've got camp season coming up. And what camp season means, it's not only for campers, but you can also use it for bridal showers, if you've got destination weddings, whatever the case may be. Here's another thing. You can use this tote. Now you guys have all seen this tote over the last couple weeks. I love this design, if you can't tell. Well, I loved it so much, I had to make it into a towel. Now, I don't even know if you're going to be able to see me all. Let me see. I'm going to move my camera. We're going to see if I can do this. Because these towels are just like Stan's little ones, except it's a beach towel. I have to tell you, I'm in love. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. It still has that velour top. And you can see I did a simple design. And the reason I did that is because I didn't want to sit here and piece a ton of it together. Yes, I have a big enough printer. I could probably have sat here and pieced it just like you do the baby blankets. But I chose not to. Okay, let me see. Oh, hi there. So, you can't see it? What do you mean you can't see it? You can see it. Anyway, you want to see it up close? Is that what you're asking? Oh, of course. I can show it to you up close. I can show you at least her name, because it's just pretty. My daughter thinks that I make everything for her now. The irony. Little does she know she's never getting this. So there's the actual design. Oh, don't worry about it, Cheyenne. Sorry, I was reading to see what you guys are talking about so you guys can really see this. So, This is that really nice velour front that he has on his little towel standouts, and then it has the terry cloth back. This thing is absolutely stunning. So, hurry over to Coney Island, because I'm telling you right now, these are going to be the in thing. Easter baskets, camp, wedding destinations, vacations even. Who'd have thunk? Make yourself a bunch of ones for your vacation. Everybody has their own. Put their name on it. You can monogram them for weddings. I mean, the possibilities are absolutely endless. You can even take that towel and use it as a spa towel, put some Velcro down the side, make it fun for a spa birthday party. Like I showed you last week, I put my hair up in one of the little baby blanket ones, or the little baby towel ones. So that really, like I said, the possibilities are absolutely endless. Your camera's too high. Oh, it's talking about the holder, the post-it holder. I'm sorry. Here you go. Here's the post-it holder. Is that better? Sports swim teams. Good call. Right? Okay. I hope that's better. Sorry. Remember, new camera angle. Stan, and as everybody knows, I don't sleep. No, I'm not a robot. I just don't sleep when I get excited about things, and it's usually the night before the Sass. I don't sleep. Sorry, my dogs are visiting me this morning. They're not normally allowed in my shop. But he has decided he needs to come and play. That would be my blind dog if you see him wandering in the background. So Stan has these keychains that are great for those key fobs that you have. I have to show you these. They're absolutely stunning. They are very, very durable. And I couldn't wait to make my own because my husband and I have matching keys. So you sublimate on this piece right here. Okay. Look at that. And it swivels. Whoop, whoop. Is it there? Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do this four-handed here, you know. So this is what you sublimate on. This is one of those hooks. This, it comes in a beautiful carrying case, and you actually have the screwdriver that actually comes with it too. It comes all in the little kit. So you take this out, you screw this out, and you slide this on. And there you go. This is going to be great for dads. I'm going to get one for Kevin, and I'm going to put his initial on it so that we know whose is whose. Because, you know, why not? Right? So pretty. So pretty. Love this one. Let's get to it. Before we get into the bow making, which is going to be a total hectic conversation in itself, we're going to press and piece a bow, but I want to show you some of the goodies that I made. Think outside the box. So, here in New York State, in the great state of New York, I should say, not a great state, I just need to point that out, we are getting and embarking on the softball, baseball, soccer season here in the Northeast. They're already practicing. So why not tap into that market? Because every softball, baseball, and soccer family, lacrosse, whatever your spring sports are, love some good swag. So, my good friends Ashley Dodd and Miss Margo, I always say Ashley Dodd because she sounds very, very English. Anyway, I totally went through all of their designs to be able to make this stuff for today. So in Ashley's store, don't even ask me how to say her name. I'm not doing it. She has these softball coasters. These I printed on the sandstone. I love the look of them. They have this whole watercolor type feel to them. In my think outside the box moment, because I wanted a softball flag, I gotta show you this flag. It's like totally amazing. So here's the flag. So Ashley's design is this back piece. I added the words, and then I seriously took her coaster design, blew the design up, and added flowers, and I made myself a really cute flag. Now, Ashley has the components. She doesn't have the flowers. She does have the softball, and she does have this background, so you can go to her store and buy these and make your own. this is a really cool idea, and it allows you to mix and match. Think about when we have our designs, especially as graphics designers, sometimes we can make things into other things. Remember that. Isn't that pretty though? Super pretty. I don't even know if you can really see it. So there's that. Margo, and I'm using all of Margo's bow designs today, she made this design. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to teach about today, is how to make these big, huge cheer bow designs. Plus, I'm going to show you how to make 2 other different style bows, too. So this is one, and it's all pieced together. Okay. Okay, we're going to make that. And I'm also going to show you how to make, I made her design much smaller. I thinned it out and whatnot, and I put it on some thinner ribbon so you can make the ponios. Because a lot of softball players, a lot of spring sports or cheer or whatever, they use the ribbons too. So this is taking her bow design and shrinking it down to make it into something else. I'll show you how to make that too. In my think outside the box moment, Ashley's shop. Oh. Here's some think outside the box stuff, okay? Before we get to that part of it. So think for softball. All right, I'm going to backtrack just a little. Think for softball. You could do a flag. You could do a tote bag. Right, a lunch tote. Because I don't know about you. I know that when my daughter played softball, we would have games at 6 o'clock. We'd be running to get food all together. I didn't want to bring the big cooler. So, I wish I had one of these. This is one of Amy's lunch totes. This is great for just putting in dinner or snacks. When you don't want to bring that larger piece, these aren't just lunch totes. They could be everywhere sports totes. They have a 6-inch gusset on the bottom. I mean, look at that thing. Okay, these hold an insane amount of food. Okay, and these are great for those games when you only have one game and you're not at a tournament where you're going to need food for the entire day, but you want something for snacks. And these are a great, this is my design. I did this. I hand drew all that. I just need to tell you that. And I wanted that look. So, if you can't read, it says, play for the name on the front of the jersey, not for the one on the back. Be team you to a point. But when you work with a team, like I work with the Sub and More team, we're a team. So, this is pretty cool. I love this. This goes with our softball theme. You could change it to baseball, change it to soccer, and I'll have those and I'll list those up too for those who want to do these as for other sports as well. I have all the different sports kind of things that you can do and whatnot. So, this is just one cool idea. I'm going to be using that same saying on a whole bunch of different sports. So look for that. I'll make some other sports type themes as well, other than just with this. Maybe you want a monogram, maybe you want to put your last name. The possibilities are absolutely endless. So, every designer has different licenses, each their own. What was it? When we purchase those designs from you, can you reuse them rights for profit? Yes! For me, absolutely. So when you purchase any of my designs, you're going to actually print them out onto things. You can't resell my digital designs. You can, in my personal shop, get the license. Once you buy the license, you're able to print off transfers for that. But if you're not a designer and you don't have a printer, Marvin, who is our in-house guy, he is printing off transfers for people. So he can print off any of my designs for you if you don't have a printer, but you want transfers so that you too can get your business going. So look for Marvin over in our sister group, the graphics group. You can find him there. You can find him in our main group. And those are where you want to find him. So he prints transfers, but every designer does have their own licensing. For me, you just can't resell my digital files. If you do, I'm going to make sure you look good in orange. No, I'm only kidding. Good morning, Jennifer. Did the feed just stop or is it my end? It's got to be your end because I can still see myself. Hearts, if you can still see me. Can you? Can everybody see me? Like people are having issues. Okay. So, softball, lunch totes are just not for lunch totes anymore. They're great for your other things in life instead of just back to school. Flags. Flags are a great way to show off the sports that your kids do. You know, some of the really cool sayings that are out there. They're also great, think outside the box moment, to bring to the field, to hang on the fence, and you can have your kid's picture on it, you know, and I'm cheering for ... whatever the case may be. Flags are great. They're universal. You can use them for absolutely everything. So you just have to pick and choose what you want to use them for. They're not just made for the garden, and they're not just made for the door, like we have said in the past. Use them for sports themes. Another idea is, there's a couple other ideas to how to also, and Margo is always knee deep in this stuff. God love her. So, I don't have these together. JDS sells these. These are the slides. These are the only slides in the world I would ever get. Because one, they have this really nice cushion, and I wear these to death, I gotta be honest. You gotta know how to, these Velcro on, and then there's a special tool to put them inside here. But you can make custom slides for teams. I would order these early from JDS if you're gonna order them, just because JDS tends to sell out during this time frame. So there's that. Maybe you wanna make custom banners. For your sports teams. They sell custom felt banners that you could sit here and make. You can then tie them. Again, think outside box a moment. These are great for the fields, or they're great for gifts, whatever you want to promote them as. So that's another think outside. So far we good. In the whole softball realm, as I showed last week and the week before, how to make hair ties. That's what I've got in my hair right now, actually. These are the headbands made of the same fold-over elastic. Yes, you can print on them. This one is 22 inches, and what you're going to want to do, if you're afraid of this being frayed, you take a lighter. I don't have my lighter handy, or I would show you. You take a lighter and you just seal the edge of this. Really easy. I usually seal the edges of all of mine just because it's out of habit. I've been making bows for over 10 years, and that was one of the tricks, that when you're making bows, no matter if you're making bows or you're making elastic, you lightly take a lighter. I'll see if I can find my lighter. Oh, there it is. Sorry, that was funny. Alright, so when you're doing this, you lightly get it in here. You don't want the thing to start on fire. Not that I've ever done that. Maybe. Okay, I have. You just want to heat seal the edge, okay? And that's what heat seals that edge. The same with any of your ribbons, too. So, you don't want this to fray or get ugly. Or do you have a daughter who's got 1,000,001 bows and they're looking a little shabby? Go through and do some of this. Oh, really? And you just lightly, don't light it on fire. And it heat seals that up so that they stop fraying. There's your tip and trick. Yes, Billy is on fire. On fire. Him and I talked this morning. Billy's my cameraman, I swear, sometimes. He's like that behind-the-scenes guy for me. So give a shout-out to Billy, because he's like, all right, boss, what do I need? And I giggle. Is it coated? Or will any elastic work? What you want to get, it's called fold-over elastic. That's the name of it. It's a special kind of elastic. You can get them at any of the craft stores. I get my elastics and I get all of my ribbon from Ribbons and Bows Oh My. It's an online store because I can get it in bulk and it costs less than if I were to run a Walmart. But in a pinch, I am the first to tell you, I will run to the local Walmart, Target. Well, Target doesn't sell it. But Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, any of those, you can get the fold over elastic. And I'll show you really close up what it looks like so you know. I don't know. Can you see that? Sorry. I crack me up sometimes. Okay. So it's a fold over elastic. It has a shiny side. It has a dull side. It looks like it has a line right down the center of it. Sorry if you couldn't see that. The lighting today is just going to be a little bit on the off side. or you can have a mini bag sealer. I don't use the mini bag sealers. I use just a good old-fashioned lighter. Lighter. That's it. That's all I use. Why fix what's not broken? And lighters are cheap. Okay. Talked about that. Hair ties. Yes. Also, with your sports stuff, if you're going to have a whole theme for different teams, travel mugs, Yeti style, the Yeti style palm, it's the Polar Camel from JDS. Umbrellas. Did you know you can put stuff on umbrella? You don't have to use just a traditional white umbrella. I mean, you can because you can sublimate on that. But if you're already doing some screen printing for a team, and let's say you want to put their logo on it, you can actually just go get, and I recommend the 60-inch umbrellas, and the reason being is they're huge. They're called a golf umbrella also, but you can actually screen print the same logo you're putting on shirts right on the umbrella. I do like the white ones because then it allows me to add some color to it, but you can get white sublimation, and actually just any white one will work, but you can get the white ones or light colored ones, and you can make some really cool and pretty umbrellas. They don't just have to be, you know, plain Jane umbrellas. I know for me, my favorite one was a flower. I would love to figure out how I can make my flower a whole different Sass for that one. Yes, fold over elastic is a 1/2 inch wide, and if you're going to use for the hair ties, you cut them 11 inches long and then you knot them at the end. Sublimate on them first before you knot them. Disclaimer. The headbands I cut at 22 inches and then I knot it. If you notice, I give myself a lot of knot space, just because that's how it is. I mean, and then they fit really nice. You put them on some cardstock and off you go. I've been teaching my friend Becky how she can promote these for her local sports teams, and she came up with a whole idea and theme for her cardstock. So it's all about thinking outside the box and how you can market these. These are cheap. You're going to ask me right now what I sell them for. I know that's coming. So my hair ties, I will sell 2 of them for $5 or 3 for $8. However I want to do them. Now, also too, if you want to shake things up a little bit, you can buy the colored ones that are already here. So you put 2 pretty printed ones and put a solid colored one. 1, it plays with the eye, and 2, people love them. The solid is nice. You didn't have to print them unless it's an oddball color you can't get, then by all means, please print them. But for the most part, these come in a wide variety of different colors other than just white, and there are even some glittery ones. So when you're marketing these, make sure that you put your card and decide how many you want to do. These are extremely cheap to make, okay? But they're great for grab and go at craft fairs. They're great to add for a little bit of something on your page if you're selling sports goods. These are a great thing to have and very, very inexpensive, because everybody should have in their arsenal things that go for at least $5 all the way up, because then you hit everybody's price point and you can get into their pocket. So that's how you do that. For these, I sell them 2 for $8, and then they're 3 for $10. Again, because these are cheap, and this is how I've priced them out for years. And I used to embroider on these. Absolute craziness. But now I don't. Now I sublimate on them. So that's how much I sell mine for. Whatever you sell yours for is completely up to you. You always need at least 1 item to get them in the door. In the door. Get them in the door. This is a great in the door. This is also great for giveaways, putting for fillers for your gift baskets, because people are going to ask you for raffle baskets. This is a great filler item. So keep that part in mind too. Also great for parties, for grab bag gifts, or birthday party favors and whatnot. That's also another great way. If you're going to do those spa towels with the hair piece, or with the head towels, this is also a great thing to have. So there's so many things that are extremely, extremely versatile. So think outside the box. You can sublimate on an umbrella. I only have navy blue and sock right now because I screen print on them, but they do sell white umbrellas. Go ahead and have at it. I'm not going to even show you how I have to get it on my press, but because I will knock the camera out. But yes, you can sublimate on them. Do you take them off? No, you don't take them off the piece of the umbrella. There's the triangle You would literally sublimate inside that triangle. And for me, because I use the 60-inch ones, the pieces actually sit on either side of my heat press. So those little bars and pieces never actually touch the heat. So that's why I use the 60-inch, because the triangle piece at the bottom is just wider. So food for thought, and people like the bigger ones, especially if they're sports people. That's just kind of their thing. And you can actually put their names on it, kids' numbers. I mean, the possibilities become absolutely endless, especially when you're doing anything that has to do with sports teams. Do you have one with a design you can show us? Of course I do. That's a silly question. So in last week's Sass, or 2 weeks ago, I don't know when I did it. Here's what I did. This is a great way to market it, okay? Cardstock's cheap. You're going to get cardstock that you print in your regular old printer. Do not sublimate on these, people. If I find out you're sublimating on them, I might come over and beat you on the head, okay? Don't sublimate on the cardstock. You sublimate on sublimation things, not cardstock. Use your regular home printer for that. You want the 65-pound weight paper. Why? Because that's the easiest to go through your printer, and then you're not jamming things up, okay? There, the Sass just got real. So, here is the one I did. Cool, right? There's a place online I get my 60-inch. You just Google it. Just Google 60-inch golf umbrellas. That's what I would do. And yes, for these, I press my hair ties at 385 for 60. So Margo and I are pretty close on the hair ties. But I did these simple. This was the theme for this one. So you can do full color. That's a nice part of these. What you're going to want to do is, if these are 1/2 inch, you're going to want to set your size of your design to 0.65, so that it gives you a little bit of a bleed area, and because no one in their right mind ever lays anything down straight, especially when it comes to ribbon. Always want a little bit of bleed if you're going to sit there and design your own. Make it slightly larger than your ribbon, whatever it is you choose, because if there's a bleed area. All right, we good so far? Are we good so far? But I've done vinyl. Yes, you can do the vinyl on the sports chairs, you know, the ones, and you can put their name on the back. I've done screen print on them as well too. Billy just brought that part up. Again, this is going to sound crazy. It's all about pimping out your product. All right, you are selling you, which leads me back to one thing that I wanted to say for about the copyright issue. As soon as you start selling something, you're now in the public eye. Okay, as soon as you take that first bit of money into your hot little hands, you are now considered in the public eye. So if you think you can skirt around selling copyrighted images, eventually someday it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. You'll end up with a cease and desist order, whatever the case may be. But just remember, as soon as you start selling, you're now in the public eye. You can't get around that. I mean, look at me. I'm trying though. Maybe. All right, before I get to the bows, we're going to do some think outside the box. You know what? I'm going to bring my camera with me. We're going to go on let's go on a road trip, shall we? Road trip. So don't mind the shaky camera. Okay. Road trip, don't mind my messy shop. So you know those family boards? Oh crap, now you can't even see it. Damn light. Let's see if I can see it now. Oh, there we go. Okay, so... Yup. I don't even know where I can hang it. Oh, right there. I didn't think about this last night when I was doing this. I gotta be honest with you. Okay. So, here's one of those family boards. I made it into a bow holder. So, you're gonna ask me what I did. So, here's what you do. You can use the hooks that go here, and then you make a braid. You want the braid, okay? After sitting and talking with Margo, because we're two crazy, insane people who don't ever sleep, Margo brought up the point that you have ponios, and ponios need to be able to be put into something. And then it dawned on me, braids. So you sit here and you make a bunch of braids that you can hook together, and I'll show you mine once it's completely done. I use navy blue. I'm going to use black or yellow when I go do it. It's just what I had handy. So you're going to go put your hooks, and then you're going to hang your braids. Close your hooks too so these braids don't come off, all right? But then you want to be able to, you can either use clips. If they have their clip ones, you can clip it on the braid, or you just open up the braid and you stuff the ponyo in. And then it sits. Oh, and by the way, that's Margo's bow. I printed it on satin. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm in love with this design, I have to just tell you. I love anything that's just color. Right? Pretty, pretty. So those family boards can now become bow holders. You can use them as medals. Think of all the things that you could possibly hang off of that thing. So it's not just one-sided. So that's the one that I made for Kennedy. Again, sorry, we're gonna road trip it again. So these are the bears. Same idea. You want to use the bears though that have the 2 feet at the bottom. Okay. Thank you, Margo. So you want to have the one with the 2 holes at the bottom. So again, you can hang the braids off of here and then you can hang it up. I did these because these are going in my friend's kid's bathroom. So these are sisters. And then I took a mama bear one, same idea. Again, braids. And then you can make these into some really pretty things. Yes, you can sub directly on satin ribbon. I does it all the time. So these are some great think outside the box. These aren't just for those right there. That's my mama bear set that I had made. I've gotten so much better in my designing since then, but that's what the mama bear set was originally for. And then now we're going to use them as bow holders, and this is a great alternative. Now I'm going to see if I can't get Amy to cut me some other shapes so that we can go further into that bow holder. Ready for the best think outside box moment? I got to be honest. Here, let me put my camera away. And I'm totally going to shout out Billy for this. He's going to probably kill me. But there we go. Whoop, whoop. There we go. All right. Best think outside the box moment. He's totally going to kill me. So I have these late night conversations with people who don't sleep and just about as much as I do. What about turning this into a chime? So Billy thought, oh, you know, I wonder if I can hang chimes off of these. You probably could. You could have 2 large of those, the I don't know what the heck to call them, the bellows, I guess. You can hang those off of here and you can make them into wind chimes. You can make them hang into, you can make these as any decorative thing. These aren't just for, you know, the whole mama bear, whatever. Think about the other millions of things you could possibly hang off of these. You could do 2 hooks and it becomes a key holder. Whatever the case may be. I mean, think outside the box, remember, is our theme for 2019, and how you could take something that was made for one thing and we're going to make it into something completely different. So bow holders, chimes, whatever the case may be, these are pretty versatile. They have multiple uses. It's all about how you decide to market your item. Once you market it, it changes people's idea and it changes people's thoughts. Family boards, somebody on our board posted that she was hanging medals, and literally I went, oh my God, that's a great bow holder. So that's where that idea came from. It wasn't completely my idea. It was an idea that spawned from another one of our wonderful members and what they have and want and do. So there you go. Cool for a cabin, right? Right. That would be good for a housewarming gift as key holders and the person's last name. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, the possibilities are endless of what you can use them for. So that's a great think outside the box moment. All right, I'm going to get into making these bowls. We're going to press. I'm going to press these. I have 2 different designs, and what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to piece inside your heat press for a bow design, because sometimes you want to make bows other than cheer style bows, okay? These are extremely easy to make. I don't want you guys to think that this is a hard process. It absolutely is not. So I want you guys to be successful as much as you possibly can. Now, yes, I do tape the entire design together. All right, as I sit here and cut this up, I do tape that entire design together because I need to feed it through my press. Now, I deliberately made these so they fit my press perfectly because I can. And 2, I didn't want the big boy out. Why? Because I need to show you how to press without getting lines. Now, here's a trick in the pressing or piecing. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you a nice close-up. Do not close your press when you're pressing on the seam. Close your press beyond the seam. Because if you close it on the seam, you're going to get more notice of the piecing than you will if you were to do it anywhere else. Okay? Does that make sense, I hope? So you never close your press on the seam when you're piecing. You always want it beyond. So I'm going to sit here. Perfect. Now, if you're looking for what they call seamless designs, you go into the different graphics places that sell seamless patterns and seamless papers that you can put in here. So like this one is a, get this taped real quick. Hold on one second. This one is a, yeah, my brain's having a moment. Mermaid one. Sorry. My brain's having a moment. I have mine. I need to be able to tape it. I cut too much paper off, but that's okay. I just wanted to do it. Yes, I put tape on the back. Yes. Will it matter? No. Not if you do it right. You want these literally butt up and flush together. Now mine, and you want to use your paper cutter. I didn't this morning, and I know that. So you really want to use your paper cutter because you're going to get a nice crisp edge. I'm sorry, I don't cut straight. So no, I'm not going to be able to put this where it needs to be. Oh, it didn't line up now, did it? Funny. And I don't know why. You know what? I'm going to do this. So I'm going to make it. I want to make it. You fake it, you make it, fake it until you make it. Is that what they say? So, what I do is tape on the back side because I didn't leave myself enough room, which is fine. Okay. You just got to know what to do, what you're doing. All right, so I've literally taped because this is going to be huge. So I needed to tape it. And I taped it so that my image is where it needs to be. We're going to dip this down now so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to move the camera in a minute. So what you want to do is I'm using this long one. Whoops, right? Which one? Yep, long one. Okay. So you can use your spray, whichever you may want to use. That is completely up to you. I always start with one end, okay? And I deliberately made it so that it's weird. Okay, my design is definitely longer than my image, or than my ribbon. Keep that in mind. But I did it so that I could show you three-way piecing. So I tape it down at one end, and I literally will come down. This is grosgrain ribbon. This is 2.5 inch. And I will sit here and go. Now again, you can use your spray, but I don't want to keep lifting it up, and I don't want to keep putting it down, so you want to just be able to lay it down once. So this way, if I tape it, I have a lot more control over my design. Now, once you get good at your bows and whatnot, you can use your spray. You get really good at this. But because for the point of teaching this live, you definitely want to tape it especially for our newbies. Okay, tape it, tape it, tape it. Tape it's cheap. You want the heat tape. Everybody's gonna ask me. Heat tape. Heat tape. Don't use regular Scotch tape, because if you do and you screwed up your design, that becomes a you problem, not a me problem. Alright, I'll cut off these edges because I don't need them. Alright, so this is where I want it to be. Alright, it's everything that I want in here. I'm going to go get my parchment paper, line my press. One for the top. You're going to see I will reuse this parchment paper because these are so thin. I can just keep moving it across. I can just keep moving it across the thing. So let's get my camera all jerry-rigged and moved here. Because this is going to... Alright. So we're going to lower this down just because it makes things a little bit easier for you guys to see. I don't know who's answering or why Becky's answering, but thank you, Becky. Okay. So there you go. Okay. So here's this. I'm set at 360 or 386 for 65. All right. So let's see, make sure you guys can see me what I'm doing. Okay. I know that there's a seam right here, but I'm not going to want to close my press so that it goes to the edge here. Okay, you don't want to do that. You're pretty much allowing your seam to be shown. So you want to hide your seam. So when you're heat pressing it, you want to go beyond. So remember, my seam's right here. You want to go beyond that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get in here, put this down, put your paper. Remember, paper, paper, paper. Okay, you want to lay this in. Oh, not enough pressure. I forgot to change my pressure. That's okay. All right. So, as you can see, I'm going to still have this little bit. I'm going to make sure that my press hits right here, not here. You're causing attention to that seam. You don't want to cause attention to the seam. You want it to go beyond so that when this off gases, it fills in any of the tiny little cracks that you have. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope. Let this cook. And hi there. So I hope that makes a little bit more sense. I don't know what you're looking at. Maybe you're looking at my forehead. I don't know. So while that bakes off, I'll move the camera back down so that you can see it. So again, you don't want your, no matter when you're piecing or what you're piecing, you don't want it to be on your the seam line. Never put your press on the seam line. That's something that I forgot in a past tutorial, and that the reason being is because now you're calling attention to that seam. And if it doesn't line up correctly and whatnot, at least if it's pieced together and you've gone beyond, it can off gas and fill in the space. Hope that makes 1,001 cents. All right, give me 1 second. Okay. Hold up, wait a minute. And let me move this over. Okay, as you can see, it off-gassed. So I want to move this over, right? So now I'm going to turn because I'm going to do my last press again. Well, I'm going to do 2 more pressings, but you literally, you see how I have, can you guys see that? The seam's right there, all right? I'm actually going to be able to fit this all on my, and if you notice, there's a line here. I want to get it close. It's okay, all right? So you can go crossways in your press too. It gives you a little bit more love. We're going to lock and load this. And we're going to wait the 60 seconds. So while it's on there, I'm not moving because I've taped it down completely. I'm not going to pull that off. I'm going to pull it off as one unit. I'm going to let it cool. Some things you literally have to pull off right away, and I'm going to tell you the lunch totes is one of them because of how you do it. And I am going to also put in my heat press how I do the lunch totes in a clamshell. Why? Because everybody, a lot of people, I can't say everybody, a lot of people have a clamshell versus a swing away. And for me, I literally can only make the lunch totes. I ruined 2 of them last night. I have a big, huge clam. I mean, this guy is huge and he rocks and he does everything. He's an auto open. I could not get my method correct. So I know that my method is tried and true in my smaller one. And I went with it and I had a perfect press. So testing is key. All right. If you're testing things, that's probably one of the most key things you could do is obviously buy other stuff. Give me 1 second. You always buy extra substrates for your stuff. I'm going to put the camera back. Sorry about this. But you know, this is what happens when you're live and you got to deal with me. There we go. Okay, so like I said, I left this all on. Now I'm going to sit here and pull it all off. show you in 2 seconds what it looks like. Again, you can use the spray. I would use the spray only once you get really good at what you're doing. But for me, I like the control of the tape when it comes to this stuff. So that's just a me thing. You're easy to do with. I hope so. All right. So there you go. All right. So I want to show you where the seam is. I'm going to point it out to you. It's less predominant, and it'll be less predominant in a bow. I mean, yes, that is where the seam is. If I were to actually have put my heat press right on there, you would have saw that 10,000 times more. You would not have seen this at all if I had used my paper cutter. If I had used my paper cutter, you would never have seen that line. Okay, that's because that's what I did with hand cut. If you notice, I hand cut it correctly right here. You can't even see where my line is. But you can over here because I was a little wonky. That's fine. I mean, you're going to do this and we're going to make a bow out of it and whatnot. But still, that's what you do. I mean, that's the faux glitter. Let me show you the other seam. Here's the actual other seam, which is far better. You're like, where is it? It's right here, just so you know. For those playing along with Waldo, it's right there. Okay? That's why you don't press on the seam. Okay? So there you go. What was he? Oh, different name. Do you have Teflon sheet on your lower pattern before you? Yes. So I protect my lower platen with Teflon sheet because there is leakage that happens, and it sometimes can bleed through my paper. And Teflon I can actually wipe off a lot easier. But it protects my lower platen because there's a piece of foam. Let me move this up so you can see my face. There's a piece of foam on the bottom of my platen. I don't want ink getting into that foam. So there's a protective cover that you put on your bottom platen. Then, after you do that, so that's what I do with Teflon sheet. Here, I'll show you. Okay, I think you can see it. So anyway, so there's this foam piece right here. I want to protect the foam. I don't want ink on it because I don't know how much the ink's going to sit there and then stay in that pad. So I put the Teflon sheet on top, right? And then use either parchment paper or butcher paper, anything that doesn't have, and that's what you use on top of that, because that paper will absorb any of the off-gassing that will happen. So, like this, for example. All right. So far, are we good? Good. All right, I'm going to get the camera moved. We're going to get right into it. I'm going to show you some bows and how to make this. Because everybody thinks it's really hard, and it's probably the easiest thing in the entire world to make. We're going to get this all set up. There you go. All right. First things first, you print your ribbon. Okay? Maybe I'm going to bring this up just a little. Okay. So, you've printed your ribbon. Margo makes some absolutely gorgeous designs. This one has that faded look, whatnot. So I pieced the design together, although you wouldn't know it, and it's in the back. Okay, so this is, I believe it's, because you know I always have a handy dandy tape measure. Don't even go there. Anyhow, I believe this one, because I wanted it to fit on my press last night, is, I probably cut it 28 inches, so it was 14 inches. If you have a smaller piece of paper, you want to shrink down your design so it's 13 and a half, so you can print it off on those smaller presses. If that's the case, and then when you go to cut off, so then you're at 27 inches, and you go to cut your wedge here, when you go to cut your wedge right here, you're at the 27 mark. So you can measure them at 13 and a half for those. Okay, ready? Here goes. So, what you need is thread. Hold on. Zip tie. And I'm going to show you the wind and pull method. This is how I do it. I've been doing bows for 10 years in various capacities. This is how I started my business. So you take it, you make a cancer ribbon. Now, is there a right or wrong way of how this is folded? No. It's however your preference is. Okay? So, you make yourself a cancer ribbon. That's pretty much what it is. Alright? You want to decide how big your tails are, because everything up here is going to be based on how much of this you want shown. Okay? Let me get my thread out, because that's got to be a thing. Okay. So, you have your cancer support ribbon, right? You're going to take this top half and you're going to slide it in so that this top half and this peak meet. Okay? I just made that look way entirely too easy. Oh, wait, because it is. So, look. So, this lines up with the front of this. Okay? And if you notice, I just turned this and this turned this loop a little bit. Okay? So far, are we good? I like the way it looks. I might adjust this. Okay? If you're unsure if you like the way it looks, you can go get these hair clips. Called alligator clips. Alright? And then you're going to see how that's going to peak. It frees up your hands. Okay? So this is a great how-to. I literally have done everything with my fingers. I rarely use these unless it's a bow that's giving me a really tough time. The more you turn these, the more these peak. So the more you cross these, okay? Now, I use the thread just because it's just there to hold. And it allows me to manipulate it. Okay? Let me make sure. Oh, sorry. My bad. Let me get in here. Okay. So, go back. You want to make sure that this back piece is lined with that peak. Okay? And that's how you get that. Now you take your thread and you come down. I come over the front and down to the back. And I go 1, 2, whoops. Don't mind that pulling. It's not going to be a big deal. Okay? You line everything up back in that peak. Okay? So far? Use your fingers. Your fingers are your claws. Okay? So I put them like this. And I grab both of these pieces and I slowly but surely let it pull itself up, and I keep manipulating in this because this is a glitter ribbon, so it's a little bit thicker, and you just keep sliding it. Now, because of the way I did it, I'm going to end up with perfect bows every darn time. Okay? Okay, that's how you do that. Now, by doing this thread method, you can actually pull it apart, make those little gathers differently if you don't like the way it's sitting. This allows you to fix, all right? You lay it on the table, you look at it, walk away, come back, say, yeah, that looks good. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, and you literally pull it. Now, what I do is after, and I do the 1, 2, 3 because you need 1, 2, 3, and that seals it. Okay, I'm gonna pull it apart. We're gonna start all over just because. And I use sewing thread, by the way. Why get the expensive stuff? Get in here. Okay. So, make your cancer ribbon. Figure out how long you want your tails. Take this, slide it under, so it ends up with your peak, and you end up with those perfect loops. All right, you have your perfect loops. You grab your thread. Whoops. Okay. And you go. So I go from the front to the back. So here's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. All right. Use your lobster claw fingers and you start pulling in. And if you start pulling in and you like how it's gathering, you have more control. It's a third hand. Because Lord knows these are not the easiest things in the world to make some days. Okay? And you pull. Don't pull so tight. Okay? That's what the little zip tie is for. Okay? So you do that. And then I go 1, 2, 3. So it locks my thread. Alright? Because then I can just literally go on to the next bow. And I don't have to worry about it coming apart and me coming back and cussing a lot. Now, what you also want to do is get your ponios. Trick with these ponios, don't put your zip tie on that part of the ponyo. You're causing it, that's its weakest point when you're doing this. You want to do just beyond it, okay? So, put your ponyo in the back, and you see that's where the seam is on that one, right? Come up through. And the reason you want to zip tie these is because this is what holds all of that beautiful hard work together. Tighten it down, and you would clip this off, and there you go. Hold on, what did Margo just ask me? Margo just, Nicky Martone, can you show how to use only a zip tie? I know some may have better luck with it. Fine, Margo. Dang that, Margo. I like my method better, thank you very much. Yeah, I know. Alright. Back to the whole thing so you can skip that method. Alright, this is how you do it. Same thing. Slide it down. This is how I do the zip tie. Now, this is why I use the thread, and you're going to see why in about 2 seconds. So you have to sit here, and you got to fold, and fold, and fold, right? You got to fold it. Some people sew it too. Sewing's just dumb. I'm not gonna lie. Sewing's dumb. Don't sew these. Not when you've got other uses for it, okay? So, same idea. I'm not gonna put the pony on. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. Okay? So, then you sit here and you sit and you tweak it. God, I hate this method. I'm complaining. I'm complaining. They're the smallest zip ties you can get. I'm complaining right now because I hate that I have to use this method because my bows never look as pretty. I'm sorry. Although they're still pretty. Mine's better. Mine's a better method, Margo. They are... Yes, they're the 4-inch ones. To answer that question. Now, let's say you use one of Margo's designs. I made this one because I didn't find a design I liked. So now, you want to make a boutique bow. Ready? Lay it all out like this. Okay? Make your snake. So far, are you with me? You challenge me, I must return the favor. No! Not doing it! Not when it comes to bows. Can't make me, man. Okay. Again, I use the thread method because Margo's making me use something else. I ain't doing it. Not doing it, man. So, this is what will end up being called a pinwheel bow. So, you literally just grab all these pieces. This is going to take you a little bit of work. I ain't going to lie. Alright? And I'm trying to do this live. But at any rate, you end up with a bow when you get your method down, and I'll do a tutorial on this one because this one's just junk right now, but at any rate you'll end up with, see, now you're gonna make me do it. Hold on, let me get my fingers where they need to be. Okay, so I have it all layered. This is my snake, I call it, and I just gather it all up. I do my thread. This one's more complicated. This is for those advanced users. Okay, just 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna, oh, that's 2, but that's alright, that'll work. I'll show you briefly what it's gonna look like. Okay, tighten it all down. If you only do 2, it won't lock. If you do 3, it locks. Okay, and this is what makes that pinwheel style bow. Alright, so cheer bows are your simple bows. They're crisscross. You can do the figure 8 which is, so they all line up underneath. All right, so when you lay it out, it looks like that. Can you see that? Sorry. When it all lays out, it looks like that. Okay, and then you literally would shrink these in. Okay, but what I do is I make sure my loops are perfect. So I lay them here, lay them across. I make sure that these two loops are even. Come up and come up. Do the 1, 2, 3 method, and it'll zip tie all this in, and bam, boutique bow. Okay. You can also use these if you do them smaller for bow ties. Just saying. I've done that before. Okay. So far, are we good? No, Margo's not doing bow making live. Darn that, Margo. She won't do it, that's the thing. I can't get her to get on camera. Goals for this year is to get Margo and Ashley Dodd on as our new moderators. That'll be the goal for 2019, is get those two online. All right, so very, very simple. You just do your, basically your cancer ribbon style, pull it down. I like the thread wrapping method. The only reason I like that is because then my hands aren't getting in the way and they're not wonky and I have more control. Everybody does it differently. Margo's going to do hers differently than me. You're going to end up with 16 other people that are still going to do it differently. So there is no right or wrong way. It's just about sitting and practicing and honing in on your craft. Like I said, my bows turn out, and I bet you Margo's do too, because she has a method. She sat there and she practiced until she got it correct. So everybody has their own method of how they're going to make their cheer bows. And I'm not going to tie it, but there you go. I mean, they're uber cute. So that's how that works. To each their own. Oh, Angie, we'll have tutorials. Is it possible one Sunday a month you can do stuff that you need help on? I always ask for suggestions when it comes to the Sass and what you guys need help on. One of them is going to be piecing, and that's piecing together. That seems to be a common problem. That might be in next week's Sass, is we're really going to hone in on the piecing part of it. Ever since I moved over to the 13x19 printer, I haven't had to piece anything, but I'm going to teach you how to piece something and press something. But I think I might do that as a totally different out of the Sass. I'm not really sure yet. I got to talk to Amy and Stan because I feel like that just has to be a video. I don't feel like I can actually do that as a Sass. At any rate, so there's that part of it. Now, simple. This is the same idea for these. You literally just lay them all on top of each other and you zip tie it to a ponyo, and then you cover this with a pretty decorative ribbon. Let me show you. So you would cut it, hot glue it. I do take my lighter and I burn this raw edge right here on this and to make sure that it's pretty, but you can knot it, you can loop it, you can do whatever you want to it. I typically for these make them a knot. You can add a little bow that sits on top, whatever, and then you make it so it covers the workings, as they say. All right, so this is another idea. These sell like hotcakes. Remember, I took all of her stuff and I made it smaller. I mean, clearly. That's how small I made this. This is a 7/8 ribbon. So I made it much smaller to fit what I needed it to fit. So there's that. We talked about, let me get my list of handy dandy things. We talked about thinking outside the box, and that's with our bow holders, that everything, you know, doesn't necessarily have to be what we made it into originally or we asked for it to have been made into. So family boards can make great bow holders. The bears can make mini bow holders. That's a great thing. There's other things you can make with it. It's just all about how you look at it and think, what else could I sell that for? All right, because then that way it markets it differently. It's all about what you do and how you market it. Yes, bows for dogs. Yes, alligator clips. You can use what they call the French clip, and that's the one that has the pinch It has a spring kind of thing. That's called a French clip. The other one is an alligator clip. And the alligator clip, you can buy them already have the ribbon around them. You can buy them plain. You can buy them with the teeth. There's a wide variety of alligator clips. Now, ponyos are the more popular ones nowadays, especially if you're doing sports. You do not want a clip. And I repeat this a million times. You do not want a clip on anything that's going to be sold as a sports bow, ribbon, nothing. No clips, because then they can't wear them in their hair, and if they do, they can actually end up hurting their head. So you only want the ponyos on anything that's going to be worn as a sports related item. Now, you can also do what I call the ties. You don't have to necessarily have a ponyo. You can actually put in here ribbon, so you could tie it to a ponyo or a pony, especially if they need to be really super tight. Those cheerleaders have those bows right up on their head. They can use ponyos, or they can use actual ties, so they can tie it nice and tight too to the child's head. There's a wide variety of options, but you never want to use a hard clip for anything that's sports related, whether it's cheer, softball, soccer, whatever the case may be of their sport, for that very reason. There is my disclaimer. Make sure you subscribe to the Sass. We are now live from the business page, and we are also going to be moving my entire show and the recap broadcast over to YouTube. We've started doing that, and the reason being is because my videos get lost in the main group. So this way it'll be now a nice, easy place to find these tutorials and so much more from the ones that have Stan and Amy have done. And to now the Sass will be loaded there as well, just to make things a little bit easier. You should be able to start finding us now on YouTube at Sublimation and the little and sign more. You'll be able to find it there. Also, please subscribe to our business page, because then you'll know when I go live. It'll let you guys all know so that I don't have to sit there and post 1,000,001 links. So subscribe to that for me, please. That would be great. And also, as always, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that I'm doing something right. I'm going to do a quick recap of everything we've done. I'm going to take some quick questions and answers. Do as we always do. Talk about the things that are coming up and what I plan on doing for the next couple Sasses. And we can go from there. So as we talked about at the top of the hour, we talked about how to make something out of something completely different. And what we talked about was how to take a regular old, what we say, lunch tote, and we made it into a travel lunch tote for when you've got to be at the ball field and you need to add some quick lunch. This is also great for picnics. It's great for hiking, whatever the case may be. These aren't just made for school lunches anymore. So this is a great alternative to having something else. Like I said, it's got a 6-inch gusset in the bottom, so you get lots and lots of stuff that you can put in it. So we talked about that. We talked about Ashley Dodd and her amazing softball designs. Absolutely love these. I love the look of them, if you can't see. All right, and we also talked about how I took one of Ashley's designs, actually I took 2 of Ashley's designs, and I made it into something else. So I took her flag design, which is this background, added some words, added this softball, blew him up, made him bigger, and then I added flowers down at the bottom. So this is how I made this absolutely cute and adorable design. And that was a think outside the box moment. So when you see a design, how can you add different designs together to make something and create it your own? We did that. We talked about how mock-ups, when you're doing your mock-ups in the design world, and if you're one of those people that do design stuff, you want to make sure that you test print your own stuff. Test print it. See how it looks. Make sure that those bright, really gold colors, like I did with this, look just as amazing. And I'll show you my notepads too. Remember, there's different qualities, so that's going to be a little bit brighter online, not too much, but you know what? This way you can sell your product, right? This is on a mouse pad. Remember, mouse pads have a fabric top. So with that said, it is going to have a little bit different of a look, all right? And then a clipboard, all right? This is literally almost spot on to the way it looks like on my mock-up. So as a designer, definitely print your own stuff and try to show what it looks like printed, because you know what? That's how you're going to sell it to people. We also talked about copywriting. Please just make your own stuff. That's all I'm going to say. And if you see something, yes, you can be inspired by it, but don't literally make it exactly the way somebody else did theirs. In the mock-up world, I'm very, very flattered that you guys love my mock-ups so much, but you've seen what I made. Now make it your own. You know, that's just what I've done. I've seen something and I like it, and I just go, well, how can I make it different and better and for me? All right, so there's that. And if you're doing copyrighted images, for the love of God, just stop. Just stop. Just stop. But it's really up to you. It's all deciding how you want to run your business. Always keep in mind that no matter when you're selling something, you're now in the public eye. Whether it's 1 item or 10, it doesn't matter. You've now put yourself out there, and you put yourself out there for scrutiny. I, for one, too, have done my fair share of copyrighted images back in my day, and I don't anymore because I now understand a little bit more of the copyright laws and how, if you can think of something, again, I'm going to give this an example. You put something with the cat in the hat, just his hat, and it'll instantly make you think of Dr. Seuss. All right. With that said, you probably don't want to use it because it's copyright infringement. So, like I said earlier, I'm going to post some links and post some stuff just so that you can go and have those methods of going and checking for yourself without asking first. We're always about try to find out the answer first before you ask the questions. Use our search bar. You know, if you're always looking for a Sass, type in the Sass in the search bar. You'll see where I've mentioned it. You'll see videos. You'll see just about absolutely everything that I've done that was regarding the Sass. So put it in there. And as always, if you need to know where a Sass is, and after you've watched the live, there's the 3 little buttons up at the top. There's 3 little dots. I think it's 3 little dots. Or a drop-down menu. I don't know. Facebook's constantly changing. Go in there and just save the video. Do it right now. I'll drink coffee while you do that. Because, you know what? If you're watching my live right now and you haven't saved the video and you ask me in 2 days where the video is, I might be annoyed. Nope, I will be. What's the Etsy page for the bow designs? That's Margo's shop. Always go and pay some love to Margo. And then you've got Ashley Dodd, who does a lot of the amazing mouse pads and coasters, and she's got some flags designed in there, and she's got some really cool stuff. That's Ashley Dodd. You'll find in my shop, you're going to find, I do a lot of the baby blankets and stuff of that nature. I'm going to post a whole bunch of tote designs for the sports. You'll see for me, I'm more in the sports, and I'm more into the military and fire and EMS. That's kind of my thing. I mean, I do cute things too, but whatever. So we all kind of have our own little niche. So, and as always, if you want a design made, ask. Doesn't mean we can do it, but we're also going to pass it along if none of the 3 of us are able to do it because we're just swamped busy. We've got a bunch of designers who have stepped up to the plate in our new graphics group who are also doing and making designs, and they will literally pop on and say, hey, I can make that, or I have that in my shop. So there you go. Because like I said, we redesigned the graphics page to allow you guys a little bit more freedom and allow you guys to show off what you're doing. It's not just about the 3 of us. And if you need printed transfers and you don't have a printer, that should not stop you, but you have a heat press. Shouldn't stop you from doing sublimation. Marvin, he's our in-house techie guy. He also prints the transfers. You can find him over in our graphics group. Just private message him. He goes and he gets what he needs to get, and you go and you get what you need to get. You make a perfect collaboration, and he sends off those transfers to you so that you too can start in your sublimation world. It's a beautiful system. If you're looking for anything that's like decals and stuff, that's our in-house guy. That's Todd. Todd is, as much as him and I literally go head to head with each other, I absolutely love him. He gets right on board when I need stuff like car decals. He can do car decals, banners. He can do the large format canvases. He could do print cut vinyl for you. He does so much more. So head over to Todd's spot. You can do there. And as always, you can go to our 2 locals, which are Halebound and Coney Island, which is Amy Hale and Stan Reisler. They have a lot of our different substrates that we're able to use at a very, very, very low cost. This week, coming up, I know we've got a jam-packed week. Marvin, coming soon, is going to be doing, I don't know what he's calling his show, but maybe, you know, Marvelous Mondays with Marvin. I don't know, but he's going to be doing all of our Photoshop and all of our Corel teachings, and he's going to do something. He's going to be teaching you the techie side of this whole business. That's going to be Marvin's thing. On Tuesdays with Todd, Todd's all about business, okay? And he teaches you that. He gives you the kick in the butt that you need on a Tuesday. And then we're going to round up that with Wednesdays with the Halebound. Raising Hale. I'm and boy, does she raise hell. Let me tell you what. She rounds out the week with Wednesdays, and then you're going to start seeing some more of the Stammy shows. Yeah, right? Stan, Amy, whatever. You're going to start seeing them start posting a little bit more. Right now, they are just so swamped busy, especially Stan, so he hasn't been able to pop on, but he is always around. And if you have any questions, we have 2 new moderators who love the abuse, and they are absolutely ready and willing to answer any and all questions, because you know what? They're new, and that's what we do make newbies do. I'm no longer a newbie. Yes. Anywho, if you have any questions, I'm going to look real quick, see if I can answer anything. What you want to know, if I can print and press it right now, I will. Otherwise, that's been the Sass. So let me look through real quick. Let's see. Go Marvin. I'm here. Who's I'm here? Oh God. I don't know who's under sub and more right now. I don't know if it's Todd, Amy, or Stan, which scares me. Scares me. Let's see. Who do we have? Somebody asked, where do I live? I live in upstate New York. I am from near the Albany area. You go back and you can watch and you can learn everything that there was about me. Last week we started doing lives from the Sub and More business page. The Sass has. And I still consider myself a newbie. I'm less than 5 years in, and I'm still learning and every day. Which also brings me to a quick valid point. There's mugs being pressed from Family Tree and Dollar Tree. I just need to put this out there, and I'm terribly sorry that I'm going to do this. I know you guys love to try out new things, and I'm all for trying out new things of what we can press and whatnot. Just be careful of the ceramic type stuff that you press from these oddball places. Here's why, and I'm just using this as a disclaimer. I'm not saying don't, I'm just saying be careful. And that is, those type of stores are pretty much from discontinued items, 1. And 2, they were not designed or made to withstand the high heat and pressure that sublimation has to be needed. With that said, it can cause micro cracks inside the mug, and after a while, it can shatter a mug when your client's using it. So just be careful. It's great for maybe practicing on, but it's not something I would sell to a client. I don't know what kind of coating they have on it. That's why you want something with an orca or the dolphin coating. It's a special coating for sublimation. I understand mugs are extremely expensive in some people's world, but you know what? The difference is dollars and cents. I mean, it's really cheap. It's just as cheap as if you bought them at Family Dollar or Dollar Tree or whatever it is. I think it's Family Dollar. Like I said, those were not made to withstand the high heat. So my caution is this: please be careful. I don't want to be reading about how this mug exploded on you and you ended up with shards and cuts, or worse yet, a hot coffee spilled all over you. Now you've got burns. And you don't want that for your client first and foremost. So that's my disclaimer on that. There's like some of the things that I've been watching and reading in the group, and it's harder for me to type it out than to actually tell you on the Sass. So keep that in mind when you're doing all that kind of stuff. Let's see. The most expensive lesson is being cheap. Absolutely. Here's the thing. People have always asked me, you know, when I'm doing stuff, well, I like quality, and I test it out. And I'm going to tell you, I literally became a firm believer in Stan's baby products. Why? Because I love the thickness and the quality. And my sister's watching and she's going to laugh because I have these towels, and her best friend who ordered some towels for me from Christmas called them my fancy towels. They're nothing fancy. It's just that they're quality. And that's what you want to offer your client. You don't want to offer them something cheap. And if you do, then please price accordingly. Okay, don't be trying to get something cheap. I literally am testing out flags right now. Hailbound's got some amazing flags in stock, but I'm also testing out other vendors. And I gotta tell you, there's one vendor, I absolutely can't stand their flags. And then I'm testing out another vendor, and I absolutely love them because they're more canvas feels, they're more Hailbound feel. And I love that. I love the thickness of them. So if you want a good quality flag, go to Hailbound. She's tested them out. She doesn't like crap either. Okay, neither does Stan. They want quality. They bring it in. They look at it and go, yeah, it looks cheap. So can we find something better? And that's where they're doing all this background work that you don't get to see. We had talked about like this. This is, Stan has these. These are great. I love the fact that they swivel. They're heavy duty. They're metal. Like I said, you can personalize them, but you're not giving them a typical key ring. You're allowing them to put their key fob on here and make it a lot more sturdier. Come up with another think outside the box. You know, what else you could use this for? That would be a really great idea. This actually, oh, you know what this would be good for? So Billy's getting into pet leashes and whatnot. This would be a good pet leash idea, maybe. I would love to see if this bar withstands the pull of a dog. So that would be a great test out item. So Billy, order a couple of these from Stan, test them out on a dog, and see if that little bar withstands a dog. So you're going to be making all those leashes and whatnot. Because I like the fact that this swivels, but I would like to know. That'd be a great test item. So there you go. Let's see. Yes. The more quality items you have, the less of a return. I'm switching over to the beach towels for my clients because not that I didn't believe Stan, but I needed quality, and you know what? They're worth the, I don't even know how much they are. I'm not even going to quote you the price on those, but he's got them in stock right now, and he's got more coming. So go buy those towels, and you're going to get top dollar for those towels. Why? Because they're absolute bank. They're quality. They're top notch. Amy's got all those MDF stuff, you know. Start marketing those in other places. Why? Because they're top notch. I can tell you right now, let me tell you the difference in Amy's versus what I had. All right, and I'm going to tell you this right now, and I'm going to put it out there because I wasn't going to, but I'm going to. Sometimes when you buy local, so I have a friend who has a local laser cutting business, and I was giving her some of the business before I could have Amy cut my family boards. And here's the difference. I'm going to tell you right now why I like quality and why I'm a quality snob. So these are a matte finish. I don't like them. I don't like them. They don't look, you know, really as classy to me. Amy's are a glossy finish. They just look crisp. They just look clean. I feel like they take the color even better because they are a glossy finish. So there's something to be said. Does Amy and Stan sell everything that we need in our sublimation world? Well, no, that's just crazy talk. But the stuff they do sell, I want quality. So there you go. And I want to be able to say, hey, can you cut this for me? Where big name companies are not going to do that. So there you go on that. There's my thing. I gotta say, I love my family boards from Amy. And it's what happens when you try to go someplace else and you're a quality snob. I'm a quality snob. Just hands down, I'm a quality snob. I'm not sure they would be wide enough for the 1-inch webbing. Great question. Where's my handy dandy? Oh, right there. Oh, and just so you know, definitely put super glue on these because as I've been using it, it does come a little bit loose. Especially if you're going to give it to somebody who's going to use it all the time, definitely put some super glue in there. Just so you guys know, so you don't have any complaints on that one. If they were just using it for decorative, it'd be great. But if they're actually going to use the tape measure that Amy sells, put some super glue in there. These guys are, yeah, they're a little less. They're about a little over a 1/2 inch wide, that little spot. So, yeah, you might be able to use them for smaller dogs or cats. You know, because people walk their cats, too. Unfortunately, they usually fall in the carrier. You say that like it might not be a bad thing. I am definitely a quality snob. It's terrible. Hold. Let me open up my handy dandy little thing here. I'm in my closet. Sorry. I got way too much enjoyment out of that. Let's see. I was looking for the little baggies that Amy sent me. Whoops. Ah, here they are. So, as I totally just shrunk my camera down. Sorry about that, guys. I kind of was falling. Alright. So Amy has these bags I want to show you. I'm going to be working on these for next week's Sass because I have a cool idea that I want to use them for. So, yeah. These are the little drawstring bags that she has that you can sublimate on. Great for wedding gifts or the bridal party or whatever you want to use it for. But I have some cool ideas. I'm going to be doing this for next week's Sass. I'm also working on a strange project. And you're going to go, what in the world are you doing? Well, my next project is going to be using these with this. We'll have to see what think outside the box moment I have for there. Good morning, Carol. All right, so is that it? Is that all you need? Little foo-foo dogs. Yes, because it's always about the foo-foo dog. Anyway, this has been the Sass for January 27th, 2019. I hope you guys got a lot of information of how you can think outside the box, use things for other things, make those bow holders. I hope the bows were the easiest things in the world you ever make. Go back, go stop the video. They're super easy to make. Like I said, there's different methods. Everybody does a different method. This is the one that I have found the easiest one to teach everybody. Been teaching how to make bows for a very long time. I used to hold classes actually on how to make bows. So, you know, make sure that you guys have all of the information that you need. And as always, thank you for showing up, having coffee with me. This has been the Sass, and I will talk to you guys all real soon. I'll see you guys next Sunday with whatever the heck else I decide to do. Until then, have a great rest of your Sunday, and I will see you guys all on the flip side. Bye.